Hello everyone, this is Tom Robertson. First off, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. We are here in the council offices of Mr. Joe Green, who is now a Vista City Councilman. And we're here about a year after our first set of interviews with Joe, when he was just newly elected. And we like to find out kind of how this year's gone. So we have a few questions for him. First thing, it's been a year since you obviously took office here.
Mm-hmm.
Catch us up on your family. I know a lot of things have changed with your family.
Yeah, I think I've had a daughter graduate, getting ready to go into the military. I got a sophomore and a junior in high school now. I got a fifth grade boy in last year at Beaumont Elementary School, which will mark my 14th year at this elementary school. I think I'm smarter than a fifth grader, but we'll see. So no, they're doing real good. We purchased a home. We've been, working real hard to remodel. Still not finished, as you know. Home is always a work in progress. I'm finding out slowly but surely. But no, the kids are doing good. Wife's doing good. Business is good, and everything's been going great. It's been a really good year. A lot busy, but great.
I know as a councilman, you are gone a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things you're going to, from ribbon cuttings to, you name it.
Yeah.
How's the family with that? Or do they attend a lot of them?
The family attends a good amount of things with me. I try to rotate through the kids since I have 4 of them, I can kind of bring different dates, I call them, with me to different places, but it's been good. I've always been real busy and real involved, so my energy is just focused on city business at this point, so it's good.
So basically, what does it feel like to complete your first year as a Vista City Councilman, and has your vision changed since the election and a lot of the things you were talking about?
The biggest thing I think for me was communication. I feel like, I always said, hey, it's the foundation of everything, the lifeblood of my marriage, and kind of my biggest, hurdle with the city. I feel like we've worked a lot harder to get our communication better with our citizens so they know what's on the docket. You've heard a lot more, there's been more controversial things, whether you're looking on the internet, looking at Nextdoor, looking at Facebook, and I think it's good. I think, hearing all different sides of, points of views per se of citizens is fantastic. So I think that we've definitely made a lot of progress in the year from the communication standpoint, but we have more work to do. But it's been good.
Is the position of Vista City Councilman, is it what you expected it to be, or are there a lot of surprises that kind of caught you off guard?
Not necessarily that caught me off guard. There's a lot of reading, so I encourage kids, stay in school, kids, because there is a lot of reading, a lot of numbers. I'm going over a lot of budgets. It's my job to be like the last stop for my community. So even the items that are on the consent calendar that have to do with our wastewater systems and our sewer systems, just everything that the job of a councilman entails, I don't think there's any way as a candidate to have it fully explained to you until you're actually in it from all different angles, because there's so many different working parts of the city that you just are unaware of. So more than anything, it's opened my eyes to a lot of moving parts and things that have been in the works for a long time, and really opened my eyes to everything it takes to make a city run. So
If someone came up to you and said, Mr. Green, I think I want to run for Vista City Council or on that, something like that, what would you tell them the hardest thing is about being a city councilman?
The first thing I would say is ask your wife. Don't just tell people you're running for city council. Make sure that your family's 100% behind you, because it is a big draw on your family. So, as a single man, you're going to have a little more time to show up to different events and things. So definitely talk to your wife about it. Make sure it's something your family's behind. I would say, aside from that, the biggest thing they need to be aware of is that everything you say matters. Everything that you say carries weight. And for a guy like me who likes to joke around a lot and be the life of the party and say a lot of different points of view, I've really had to filter that a little bit, just because I never want people to think I'm speaking on behalf of my city in different situations. Obviously, when I'm speaking on behalf of my city, I'm ready and willing to tell people what's going on from a city standpoint. But even out socially, no matter where you are, people take that as you're representing the city, and always being aware of everybody around, and kind of why you're here is to kind of be an example for other citizens, and it's a lot to think about all the time, but it's a responsibility that I stood on corners and waved signs for. I knocked on doors for. I made my kids knock on doors for, and it's something that I welcome and that I've I think adapted to pretty well.
Right.
So
the city council obviously has to vote on all kinds of things all the time. What has been the hardest decision you've had to make that you've had to vote on?
The issues change every couple weeks, whether it's a public hearing item or a discussion item. And I really don't feel like there's been any super hard votes that I've had to make. I think the most important thing as a council person is getting as much information as you can and as much feedback from the community as you can. The dog park thing was big, the off leash or on leash, and I was on the short end of it, which was, I got outvoted on that. I thought, hey, we made a decision, let's stick by it. And some of my council members, based off the reaction of the, citizens, which it's right, everybody has their own way of doing things, voted to change that over. But for me, by the time I made the decision and I heard everybody, and I'd walk those trails so much, I went to high school across the street, I had to run those hills and wrestling. I was really familiar with it. The decision wasn't hard. Sometimes the blowback from decisions you make is harder than making the actual decision. That particular night, a citizen came up and was real unhappy, and I felt like was almost challenging me to a fist fight. And I'm like, hey, look, you got what, and they got what they wanted. They won. And I'd say that particular issue was the most controversial. But from a decision standpoint, decisions are pretty easy to make. I feel like when you're seeking wise counsel and you're making an informed decision. You can't show up. These binders, have 500 pages of information. We pay people a lot of money to do different reports on everything, whether it's a traffic study or environmental study. And before we walk up there and push that button, it's our job to read those and make sure that we ask people what they think about the impact it's going to have on the community. So, decisions are pretty cool. It's just getting ready for those meetings that is, the biggest wear and tear on your body and your schedule. So,
what's been the most enjoyable thing about being on city council?
The doors that it opens. I get to tour different places. I got to tour Children's Paradise, which is an early education, place that we have here. The Lowens and the community here run that organization, and it serves so many different low-income families that I was unaware of. I'd done a lot of work with the school district, but I never saw really how do other people educate our youth, because I think that, P3 initiative that everybody's behind is super important. I'm a big advocate for education. So being a councilman opened that up to me. I got to take a nice tour and see their different, their different locations and what they were doing. Just today, I got to tour the Southwest Carpenters Union building down in San Diego, and they talked about just different avenues for career technical education for our community and what they can bring to Vista and to our youth. So, being able to call and say, hey, I'm Councilman Green, what can you do for Vista? And people respond, and it's really awesome to be able to be that voice and be able to help bring things like that to our community.
Right.
So.
Looking ahead just a little bit, the coming year, what kind of things are coming up before the council that you guys, that you'll have to take a stand on yourself, or the coming for you, hot topics like the strawberry fields in your district, things like that?
There's a lot of developments which I feel like are always hot topics. The Monarch development that's going to be going on here next to, I believe they call it the Monarch Creekside development. Right. We used to have an old trailer park there. I think there were, almost 100 trailer units there at the time, which are there no longer, but there's an apartment complex going in there. I haven't had to vote on, but it's already been voted on. I think there's going to be a lot of information or feedback that we'll receive from the community as that goes. There's a median going on in the middle of East Vista Way, because we've been having problems with left turn-ins and outs of like the different churches, and it's a really wide road, and we're trying to ease traffic flow on that. So those two things are things that are coming up. The Paseo Santa Fe project, people are still working hard on. Phase 2's fully funded now, so you'll see the signs as you drive down Civic Center Drive that say, hey, the road's going to be closed intermittently between now and the middle of 2018, I believe. So we have a good amount of things that are on the docket and in process.
I know at the government affairs meeting that I attend each and every month in the Chamber of Commerce, it was one of the members of the City of Vista brought up that possibly the vacant field that's next to the Food for Less, possibly they might be looking at a retail place. Is that something that we can look forward to? Or?
Yeah, it's my understanding that they're looking for different retail establishments in there, and also different eateries that are going in there. They've talked about a Habit Bar and Grill going in there, perhaps a drive-through Panera going in there, perhaps. So there's a lot of hype about it. I know my wife and everybody I talk to in Vista says we need a Trader Joe's in Vista. So anybody watching this that works at or knows Trader Joe's, let them know. Come to Vista. We will support you. You know, the Fallbrook Bonsall crowd has to go through Vista. So, there's some things that we really want to bring to Vista. You know, the best thing is everybody that I talk to outside of Vista talks about how good Vista's doing. And, the biggest problems we have are that other people have. You know, we're growing so fast. Everybody wants to live here, and traffic. But, aside from that, we're doing our best to ease the traffic flow throughout the city. But we're also trying to bring great amenities and fantastic things for our citizens. You know, this year the skate park's open. And to have those 2 skate parks, we got the lights turned back on now from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night, so families can actually use it again. And I feel like we're really more focused on our citizens as a council and as a city, more focused than we've ever been. I know that that's my big drive, is what can I do for our people, because I am a Vista citizen and have been my whole life.
So in summing up and speaking to the citizens of Vista, how would you like to sum up your first year and people getting involved in the city of Vista, volunteering programs and things like that?
Yeah, thank you, number one. Thank you so much for electing me. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and have done all of your holiday shopping by the time this airs, whenever this does air. If you've already opened holiday gifts, I hope you got exactly what you wanted. In summing it up, the year's been fantastic. I feel like we've made a lot of progress. I feel like we can always do better. I want to make sure that the citizens of Vista know that my door's still open. My phone number still has not changed. You can Google me and my phone number will come up. I sell houses for a living, and my job is communicating with people. So, call me on my cell phone anytime, text me on my cell phone, email me anytime, 760-815-4872. That's my cell phone, and joegreen760@gmail.com. Or I have a City of Vista email, so jgreen@cityofvista.com. And anything you need, your feedback is welcome, and know that we hear you. Show up to our meetings. They're on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays every single month. And if there's something that you're concerned with, just know that we do work for you. Our job is to protect our citizens. I think number one is infrastructure and public safety. That's my job, is to make sure that our infrastructure is great and our citizens are safe, so that we provide an environment that people are happy to come home to every day, and an environment that their kids will want to live in someday. So I hope that my 4 kids will stay here, and I bought a home with a guest house, so I'll never have to be in assisted living. Hopefully I can be the old man that lives in the back of the house. So anyways, thank you so much, Vista. I really appreciate it. It's been an amazing year, and I'll be working super hard for the next few years. And thank you so much for the North County Daily Star for all their coverage in our city. I get my weekly updates, and I see all the different articles you guys run on the different events that are held within our town, and I think it's great that you keep people informed. So thank you so much.
Yep. Once again, Tom Robertson, happy holidays from the office of Joe Green.
Merry Christmas.